You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Bork. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Yeah, good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Tuesday, 12th day of November, 2019. Thanks so much for joining us, whoever you are, wherever you are. We're just glad to have you right here, right now. If you can't see the screen or the chart I'm about to put up, go to our homepage at cfrn.net. On the right-hand side, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered in about 30 seconds, and that will give you one-click access to the show each and every day. On the days you're out of the office, away from the desktop, not to worry, just point any internet-connected browser, a phone, a tablet, you name it, point it to cfrn.net/live. There you'll find a live real-time simulcast of the show as it unfolds, brought to you by the good folks at YouTube. Thanks, YouTube. All right, let us take a look here at, let's see. Let's take a look at a daily chart of the S&P 500. That would be this one right here. That's a 30-minute. Pulling back here to the BBC. Let's look at it from a daily perspective, and we'll get all these fibs out of the way for a moment so we can see price. There we go. This little rectangle, we've been talking about it for a week or better now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 trading sessions. Okay. The big question is, will we break from tradition? In the past, previous all-time historic highs have been sold off with vim and vigor. We saw it here. We saw it here. Even though this wasn't an all-time historic high, it was very close. We saw it there. And so we're patiently awaiting to see what the future brings here. In this instance, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, we had 5 days of consolidation. Over here, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 days of consolidation. And we're in day 7 here. That's the big picture look. On a retracement, the shallowest retracement that we would look for would be right here at the BBC. After that, a 24% Fibonacci retracement. And I'll put those on the chart here later as we get into the show. Right now, the president is about to speak. What is he going to talk about today? Well, we're about to find out. More importantly, how are the markets going to react? We're about to find that out as well. If you're planning to trade the president's speech, now would be the time, I suppose, to get that position working. Okay. All right. Locked and loaded. All right, let me give you the numbers from around the world real quick. These are the cash markets. Okay. Currently, here in the U.S., the Dow is up 28 points, NASDAQ up 33, S&P 500 up 8, and the Russell 2000 up 3. In the commodity basket, crude oil down 3 cents, trading 56.83 last. Gold down $2.90, trading 14.5420 last. In the Asian markets at the close, Nikkei posted a gain of 188 points. It's almost 1%. Shanghai posted a gain of 5, and the Hang Seng finished the session up 138. In the European markets at the close, FTSE posted a gain of 36 points. The DAX was up 85. The CAC up 25. That gives us a green day in Asia, green day in the UK. So far, it's a big Green Radio Tuesday here in the US of A. Let's go to Michael, get a recap of everything that happened in the live training room this morning. When he's finished, I'll be back. We'll talk Concierge Trade Alerts. We'll talk Logic 247. We'll talk to John, all that, and answers to your questions. Michael, take it away. Michael's not here, man.
Okay, yep, Michael's here.
Okay. Very good. It's
Hang
all
on, let me
yours.
just change my name. Okay, let me just change my name.
To protect the innocent?
Well, so I know which one of you to switch it to.
Gotcha.
Okay. There. Okay. You should be looking at my screen.
We got it. Alrighty.
Excellent.
It's all yours.
Alright, here we go. Thank you. Okay. Let's start out here. If you have not taken a free trial, go to the homepage at CFRN.net. And right here at the homepage, it says apply.cfrn.net, 5-day free trial. You can click on that, or you can click on any one of these other things down here that say 5-day free trial. Or you can go directly to eminitrainingschool.com, eminitrainingschool.com. Now, clicking on that, if you click on that, it will bring you right here to eminitrainingschool.com. On this page, all we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. Hit the register now button, and you will be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay? If you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know that you took the free trial. Okay? So I gotta set all my browsers up again. I had a sudden reboot last night. Okay, the spreadsheet today. If you're gonna read the spreadsheet, you gotta read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 12th day of November, 2019. We made 14 ticks in crude, 6 ticks in gold, and 1 tick on the ES. That put us at plus 212.50. Today, it took 90 minutes and 7 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're at $100 a contract, and we took a total of 11 trades. So on the month now, we're at 1,095. That's over 8 days, averaging 136 per day. 136 per day. On the year now, we're at 31,881. That's over 205 days, averaging 155 per day. Okay. Okay. Let's go take a look at what did or did not happen today. I did miss a few trades today. It started out when it was pretty messy right in here. And then we started to develop a nice trend right here. And there was a shorting opportunity right here. Now, these were all going into the low of the day, but I highlighted them anyway because they would have been closes down below the trend line. One there, and then it changed directions on me. And there was actually a long right here that I missed. Another one right there that I missed. One right there that I got to break even on. This one right here that that I got 6 ticks on. And this one over here I got 5 ticks, but I don't know why I don't have that. I don't have that down in my sheet. I will have to put that there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 trades. Yeah. That gives us 10 on gold. 11 on gold. Sorry. All right. Then we get into the break. And now during the break, there was a long opportunity right there. Then it flipped around and gave a shorting opportunity right there that did not continue the trend. And then it went sideways. So that was it. There was some opportunity there today on gold. The yen we didn't do a thing with today. And I was back and forth between the yen, the YM, even soybeans I had up for a little bit. Crude oil. Let's see. Well, I have a lot of drawing objects. On crude, we started out with a break even right here. And then we missed a long opportunity right there. You can see it's going into the high of the day right now. It flipped around. We missed the first shorting opportunity right there, but then we picked up 1 tick here on that one. And oh, you know what? I'm missing my drawing objects because we had 6 trades here on crude, but I had to restart DT Pro, and it didn't save everything that I did. But we started out, we got 1 tick here. I think we got another tick right here, put us at +2. Then we had 2 ticks over here to put us at +4. Then we had a break even there. Then we had 6 ticks somewhere. We had 6 ticks, and then we had 4 more ticks to put us at +14. I think this is where the 6 ticks were. Or is that? Yeah, that's probably where the 6 ticks were. And the 4 more ticks were probably in here somewhere toward the end of the session. Anyway, we ended up with +14 on crude today. During the break, let's see, there was a big leg down here during the break. If you know what a 164 trade is, you could have captured this big leg down. And then it just went sideways from there. Okay. And on the ES, we had one trade right at the end of the session. And it was from here. I didn't draw it in though. It was from right there. And we got out at the end of the session with one tick profit right there. Let's see, did I miss anything? I mean, the ES put in new all-time highs today. I'm sure Dwayne's already gone over that with you. But 3102. And that was it. Sadly, there wasn't a ton of opportunity to trade the ES because it was going in and out of weekly trading zones. So back here, we'll go back to the spreadsheet first. Okay. Today is the 12th day of November, 2019. We made 14 ticks on crude. Actually made 10 ticks. 11 ticks. Sorry, 11 ticks on gold and one tick on the ES. Put us at 262.50. Today, it took 90 minutes and 7 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $100 a contract, and we took a total of 11 trades. So on the month now, we're at $1,145. That's over 8 days, averaging $143 per day. And on the year, we're at $31,931. That's over 205 days, averaging $155 per day. $155 per day. Yeah, that's all that stuff. Now, if you have not taken a free trial, I'm going to go back to the other page, the incognito one. If you have not taken a free trial, go to the home page at CFRN.net. Right here it says 5-day free trial, apply.cfrn.net. If you click on that, or this, or anything else that says free trial, it's going to bring you to this page. You can go directly to this page, eminitrainingschool.com. And over here in the right-hand column, all we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. Hit register now, and you will be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link, okay? If you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know that you took the free trial, so you got to click that. All right. All right. And with that, we can pass it back out. Fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready. Okay, he is not ready. He must be at the curtain machine. Okay. ESZ9. ESZ9. Hang on, there's something I gotta look for in the indicator store. Okay. All right. Right now, Trump is giving remarks right now, I believe. Let's see if it's having any effect on the market. It would be negative right now because we're coming off the high of the day right here. The high of the day was at 10:41, and Trump was supposed to start speaking at noon, which is right in here. Okay. Right now, markets are all messy and sideways right now. The yen did gain strength while the ES was dropping. It did. let's look at the volume. Get those indicators, volume. Yeah, you see the volume's dying right here. See, he was supposed to start speaking right here. So if you'll get on a, not a 4-minute, 5-minute chart. See, people are staying out of the market right now. Let me go back here to my favorite. There we go. All right.
Michael,
Yes.
even though we're in the live training room, we're dealing with the 4-tick range chart. Why are the weekly trading zones important to us, and how do we use them?
Well, they're important because they're areas, they're significant areas in the market. And yeah, there's significant areas in the market. Significant areas are almost always retested. So if you know where the weekly trading zones are, like right now we have a weekly trading zone right up here above the all-time high. There's another one up there, and there's more above that. You can anticipate that if the market, if you have a bullish stance on the market, meaning the MA1 is above the BBC, then you can anticipate that price is going to go to that weekly trading zone. Like right in here this morning, once it started to get bullish in here, I drew in the rectangle here so that you could anticipate that price was going to get into that weekly trading zone if you had a trade set up to put you in the trade. And we didn't end up with a trade set up on this move. There was one right here, but it was going right into the high, new all-time highs, and it had a zone right here on the other side. So right here, you would have anticipated that it would have gotten up into this weekly trading zone if it weren't going into new all-time highs. Now, earlier today, 3097 was the all-time high, and you can see that we're right on the other side of this weekly trading zone, and it stalled out there for a little while this morning. And I was thinking, oh, that's going to be bad if we get a double top at 3097 all-time highs, and it fails off of that. That would be a bad thing. But then it went through it, and now it's tanking. But I think it's probably got something to do with Trump's remarks. He is actually speaking at, hold on. He's due to deliver brief remarks at the Economic Club of New York. Economic Club of New York. I wonder where that's located. But that's why the weekly trading zones are important. And when you become a partner, you get them every Monday morning at about 6:15 a.m. and they're good for the entire week. And see the volume on this one? It's dropping off. Now we'll go to this 5-minute. See how much do we have left? 2.5 minutes left in this bar. So it's possible that it could build up to this level right here in 2.5 minutes. Let's see, right here is the next weekly trading zone. You see that 3103, 3104 is the next one up above. So if we get a bullish stance to the market again, which we don't have right now, then you could anticipate that it's gonna try to get up there. Okay. don't see any questions in the question box. Okay. So, Dwayne, if you're ready, you can take it
I'm
back.
ready. Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. So here we sit at the top. At the top. At the very top. This is the continuous chart. Let me scrunch it up a little bit. So, again, back to what I had mentioned earlier. This was a little more than a year ago. This was the worst December since 1932. So all-time historic high, sell-off, and again, and again, and again. Question is, what happens here? Beautiful thing about being a futures trader is if we continue higher, we know what that looks like, and we know how to trade that. If we will eventually get the retracement. Price always reverts to the mean, as you can see. And in our case, the mean is the BBC, the green line. BBC stands for bull bear cross. As you can see, when price is above it, we're bullish. Below it, bearish. Not just on a daily chart, but for whatever time frame that you're looking at, and also whatever market you're looking at. There are schools of thought that say you can't trade the S&P the same way you trade crude or gold or pork bellies, because they have different personalities, and I have no doubt that they do in fact have different personalities. However, that the personality thing doesn't seem to affect us. Above, we anticipate higher prices. Below, we anticipate lower prices, until that dynamic changes, as it did right here, and as it did here, there, 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 and there. As you can see, the pullback holds more often than it doesn't. And that cross right there, that is the signal that the market is about to attempt to trend in the opposite direction. We call that a bullish cross, and that is a bearish cross. And this is the market making up its mind. And this is an important decision here. We have an election coming up. Everyone will be on the campaign trail here shortly, those who aren't already, banging the drum. In the next 4 years in this country, I think it's going to be very good for trading. Whoever's elected president, there's just so much happening in the world today that I think we're going to see good volatility. And again, as a futures trader, whether we're up or whether the market's up or down, we participate. Whatever's in front of us at the time. You were talking about volume, I think, earlier, Michael?
Yes, I was.
So this is a daily chart. Let me just pull this up here so I can see it. So an average day in the S&P 500, probably about 1.2, 1.3 million. Now, so far this week, that was Friday, we broke 1 million. Yesterday, holiday, Veterans Day, we didn't quite hit 1 million yesterday, 815,000. And so far today, 629,000. Well, by the time we finish this session, and by the time the president finishes speaking, I think everyone was expecting a very bullish reaction to his comments today. And he can talk for a while, so he may be saving the best for last. He may have something that he's going to share with the country to send this market even higher. He spent most of his time so far just railing on the Fed and expressing his extreme displeasure with the mistakes that Powell has made. let's go to the, oh, what was the recap of the recap?
Today it took 90 minutes and 7 trades to get to $100 per contract.
That's good bingo. Okay. All right, we'll start with the Concierge. So if you want to grab a screenshot, I'm going to drag it up and give you that opportunity. There we go. 11:19. Got them out last night. About 10 minutes later than I like. Try to get them out between the Globex open at 6 Eastern and 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay. All right. So let's go to a 30-minute chart. Okay. I'll get rid of that. Okay. 30.89. That's going to be right here. Important prices, important areas are almost always tested. And I said 9:10, so that's going to be the 2100 hour candle. That's going to be this one right here. So this was the first trigger. All right, from 30.89 up to 30.94. That's a 5-point move at $50 a point, $250 per contract traded. Back below the trigger, we found good support at last week's zone. This week's zones are right in that same neighborhood. 30.91.75, 2 3/4 points. Back below the trigger, and then the big move that began this morning on the Wall Street Open took us from 30.89 up to 31.02. So that's going to be 11, 12, 13 S&P points at $50 per point. It is a $650 per contract move. If you've earned the right to trade 10 contracts, that's a $6,000 move. But be very, very careful, very cautious about attempting to trade too many contracts too soon. Our philosophy is that you stay in SIM until you prove yourself consistently profitable, not just with our methodology or our indicators, but with any methodology. There is no argument that warrants throwing real money at the market until you are consistently profitable. Our rat brain tells us that, well, you know, if we just make it real, if we put some real money to work, then we'll sit up straight, we'll pay attention, and we'll get it right. We have to get it right because we can't afford to lose money. Well, I've never once seen that end well. Make sure you become consistently profitable in SIM. And with us, when you go live, when you've earned the right to go live, the 2420 blueprint sends you out with one contract. And you stay with one until you increase the account balance by $2,000. Once you do that, the blueprint will give you the green light to add a second contract. Going forward, every additional contract that you add according to the schedule is underwritten with profits you earned in the market. And that's very important. That first contract, that's going to come from your savings, from under the mattress, wherever you stash your cash. But if you follow the 2420 blueprint, the second, the third, into the future, profits you earn in the market are what fuel the growth of your trading business and your account. Okay. So 13-point move here. Let's go to the Dow. Yesterday we talked about these obstacles. We got through that first obstacle here, and then the second obstacle sent us back to the BBC where we anticipate good support. That's exactly what we got. We walked the line most of the overnight session, and then on the Wall Street Open right here took us up to 27,732. Concierge Trade Alert was to be long 27,655. And that's going to be right here. Again, important prices, important areas, almost always tested. 27,655. There we go. On the first trigger, we made it up to 718. So 655. It's going to be 45 and 18, 63. So a 63-point move at $5 per point, $300 per contract traded. And then we're back below the trigger. Now the second trigger, there's a very different dynamic at work here. On the initial trigger, price is on the left side of blue and climbing. The only thing we have to concern ourselves with here are these obstacles that we pointed out yesterday. We get back below the trigger, we pull back to the BBC, we expect it to be good support, and it was. It holds more often than it doesn't. This time we have a fresh obstacle in our path, and that fresh obstacle is the polar opposite of blue and climbing. It's red and falling. And as you can see, it just kind of held price down until it was pinched right between the CFMA1, the BBC. Once we got on the north side of blue and climbing, and we were able to make that run right up to 27,732. Alexa, 732 minus 655. Alexa, 733 minus 655. Oh, I've got that on Wi-Fi. Hold on.
Sorry, something went wrong.
Yes, it did. It sure did.
78.
Alexa, you ready to try it again? Okay, here we go. 733 minus, Alexa, 733 minus 655.
733 minus 655 is 78.
Alexa, 78 times 5.
78 times 5 is 390.
Okay. So a $390 per contract move. We managed to spike this obstacle here. We haven't quite made it to this one. So if the president says something positive and upbeat, is he still speaking? Do you know?
I don't know. I do not know.
I had him on my screen here a moment ago, but I don't see him there now. I see the folks sitting around the table talking about it. I'd be surprised if he's done that quick. No, looks like he's still talking. Yeah, you've got a shot of him again at the podium. All right, so we've got, here's a high, higher high, and a higher high. So if anything positive comes out of this speech, then we could trade higher, and we've got a weekly trading zone. Where is that? Now, if you're wondering why the market stopped here, other than that obstacle, well, you can probably put the pieces together. The next zone overhead, we got about 100 points before we hit another weekly trading zone. So keep that in mind. If this thing falls apart, that would not look good for the president. All right, let's go to the Russell. Okay. Again, these are last week's weekly trading zones. Partners and passport holders get the zones every Monday morning, 6:15 a.m. Eastern. We've published the zones since December 14th of 2009, coming up on our 10-year anniversary. And for that 10-year period, they've done exactly what you see them doing today. Nothing's changed. When we approach a zone from below, we expect it to be good resistance. When we pull back to a zone from above, we expect it to be good support. So even though these are last week's zones that you see on the chart today, on Thursday, I break out the current zones for everyone in the audience, not just partners and passport holders. And if you jot those down, you'll find that they can be beneficial Thursday night, Friday, Sunday night on the Globex Open. Here it is, Tuesday of the new week, and still doing their job. Last night for the Russell, consider being long, 15.99. That's going to be right there. So from 15.99, we made it up to 16.02. 3 points, $50 per point, $150 per contract traded. Back below the trigger, and now the dynamic that I pointed out on the Dow, it's right here on the Russell as well. This trigger, nothing in the way other than this previous swing high. But here the market has to deal with an obstacle, red and falling. We pinch together just like we did on the Dow, and then once we get above, off we go. And this move took us up to 16.07. That's 8 Russell points at $50 a point, $400 per contract traded. We're back at the BBC, back at the trigger, back at last week's weekly trading zone. Now, we've dropped below the BBC. However, this may be a head fake. We would want to see this swing low taken out. And right there is an important price, important area. That's where the bullish cross took place that led us to this leg and retracement, leg, retracement, leg, retracement, leg. That's a place we will potentially find good support. So I'd like to see price come down, take out this low, and then hold a retracement. That's if we're going to trade to the south side. I think so far all eyes are looking north. Now it may be that the president's comments were already baked into the cake, as they say, and so it's a buy the rumor, sell the fact kind of a thing. If we go to gold, last night on gold, the concierge alert was to be short 14.55, and that's right here. $14.55. The first trigger we dropped to $14.49, so we'll just call that $14.50. So from $14.55 to $14.50, it's $500 per contract traded. Gold pays $100 per point per contract traded. Back above the trigger, and from 55 we dropped to 52, back above the trigger, and we dropped to 46. That's a $900 per contract move right there. The long side for gold, 1461. We've not seen that as of yet in this session. On the NQ, last night's alert, consider being long, 82.67. Swing high, 74. That's $140 per contract move. The NQ pays $20 per point. You get back below the trigger, find good support at the BBC. That same dynamic we run right into, red and falling. So we do a little consolidation, and then the market makes its move off of the Wall Street open. That's the 30-minute opening candle. Gets us back above the trigger and takes us up to a swing high at 8,300. So from 67 to 8,300, that'll be 33 NQ points at $20 a point, $660 per contract traded. If this retracement completes itself with a pullback to the BBC, we had a high, higher high, and a higher high. That could put us up approaching our next to the highest weekly trading zone on the NQ. All right, S&P, we've already discussed, still working that pullback. And if the market's going to find good support on this retracement, we should be walking into it right here, right now. So today's radio freebie, 30.95 to 30.97. $30.95 to $30.97 to $3,100. Seen John yet?
Nope, not yet. Not yet.
Let me jingle his phone, see if he's going to join us today. I think Garrett will be with us again tomorrow. He's trying to get on his schedule of every Wednesday. You ready? Yeah, if you're ready, let's go ahead and do it. Okay. Question in the chat box. Let's see what it says. Oh, Bill, were you answering the question about Trump still speaking?
Yeah, I think that's what he was referring to.
Okay. Very good. Oh, I want to extend my apologies to everyone in our audience. It was brought to my attention yesterday by Mr. Raymond Meyer. It appears that I have a habit of clearing my throat on the radio program, and apparently it makes Mr. Meyer physically ill. Nauseous. I think puke. That's the four-letter word that he used. So, Mr. Meyer, thank you. I pray that if you ever encounter a serious health issue, that you will not be forced to clear your throat. Okay? John, welcome to the show.
Hi there. Thanks very much for bringing me on. You know, this market, boy, you know what I think is going on here, Dwayne? we talked about this actually yesterday about the market having a melt up, and it's just like magic. I mean, the way this thing like just powers on this morning again. The semiconductors made a new all-time high. And I think that one of the reasons for this is we are breaking out above that upper trend line, and that's a powerful thing. I mean, it's something that's look, it's a once in a lifetime kind of thing. It's kind of probably like the 90s when we went up 10 years straight, and I guess the 80s and the 90s, but remember August 12th, 1982, when we took off, and within a matter of, remember we were at 777, more or less down at the bottom. I think the previous high, all-time high, was a little bit over 1,000. Once we took that 1,000 out, I mean, here we are today, 27,000, 27 times higher. Can you believe it? And now we're probably going to go parabolic, from here. And listen, I've been kind of saying this for months. The economy is going to get stronger. The market gets it. The market is sensing the economy is getting stronger. The results very, very, the 70% exceeded expectations. That's one of the best ever. And we're in for probably another profit cycle here. And then you've got the whole world stimulating. By the way, there was some very interesting numbers come out. Even though Europe is in the dumps right now, that I think I saved it somewhere on Twitter. I'll probably try and get it up tomorrow. But I think Ireland is the top of the list. It's expected to grow 5% next year. Germany's still down in the dumps, maybe 1.5–2%, something like that. But at least it's going to be better than what it is right now. And that's the whole thing. You've got something going on here that's never happened before. You got negative rates, which are rapidly going positive. And if you remember what I said about that a while ago, I said if these rates start to look like they're going to disappear, these negative rates, that's a buy signal for the whole world.
Right.
Now, it doesn't mean to say today, because there's a bit of a dichotomy going on today. We're back to the sort of, right now the mid cap is in the red. The S&P is only up a bit. The Dow is not up that much. The financials sector is a little bit in the red, and the advanced decline actually is just about to go negative, which is something to be careful of. So, and Boeing is down today after streaking higher yesterday. Actually, it was down about $4. It's about to go positive again. The Nasdaq. So we got this kind of streak on, but look on the other side of the coin, the EDC is just going south, and that's a kind of a warning sign to me. Sometimes the
Did you say EDC, John?
EDC, which is the global index, emerging markets. When the whether it's something to do with China or whatever, it doesn't look. It's an island top on that thing. Holy mackerel! Look at that, jeepers. I mean, that's really dangerous. And, look, we've got these hearings starting tomorrow. You got Trump speaking right now, and he's giving a phenomenal speech about all the things that he's done. I mean, he was one of the things you probably don't know, and for the benefit of the audience.
Are you surprised that the market hasn't moved on his comments?
No, I think it went up in anticipation of his speech this morning. That's what I was expecting. And also Facebook and a few other, Amazon's up, Google's up today. These stocks have
Microsoft hit an all-time high today.
Right, exactly. And there's talk of Microsoft buying Bloomberg. I think we talked about that yesterday. I wouldn't be doing that, frankly, because I think Bloomberg is going to be disrupted by the internet more and more. We talked about that yesterday.
I agree with that.
Yeah, Yeah, look, you've got a gap up there.
It was the only game in town for a long time, but there's a lot of competition now for the
Yeah,
Bloomberg
for sure.
terminals.
Yeah, and look, you remember back in, you remember back in 2000 or 1995, to get information on a company, you had to wait for a package from them and all this kind of thing. Today, your ability to get your arms around a company is, virtually instantaneous in terms of being able to get. You don't need Bloomberg to really get the lowdown on a company. Frankly, you can get most of it from different sources.
Mm-hmm.
Having Bloomberg certainly gives you probably a little bit more, but it's not the be all and end all. Just remarking on this situation here with Microsoft, this gap up a couple of days ago and then breaking out. This is a favorite trick. This is actually a very, for the benefit of everybody who is trading stocks or even futures for that matter. When you see something like this and you see a market going sideways for a few days, and then it starts breaking out to the upside, you have to go with that trade. And if you remember, I think it was something jumped up really dramatically a few weeks ago, and I pointed it out to people, and the next day it didn't go right away. It was a kind of a doji thing, and then next day it took off, and boy, it's gone wild. I think might have been Roku, or I think it was Roku, maybe in something else. And by the way, Roku's going gangbusters today too, again. So, I mean, look. By the way, you can get sometimes when a market does this kind of thing, it goes up towards the gap. If you see this thing sort of rolling over here in the next few days, which I think could happen, it might be a good short, because there's been a lot of damage done on this stock, and I don't think the correction is over on it yet. And the streaming, you got Apple and all these, the streaming space. They were actually talking about it on one of these shows this morning about how the streaming space is getting overcrowded. And
Disney joined today.
Right, exactly. So that's, these are all threats to Roku. And, there's so many giveaways now that their actual model might be compromised. And, and they, even though they've got a lot of, what's the word? Subscribers overseas, I think there's a lot of ways you can get around Roku as well, with different things, and there's people coming out with all kinds of incredible devices that can, you can watch 3,000 shows and all this sort of thing. So it's. Are
you familiar with Plex? Plex? Plex?
No, I'm not.
It's something along the lines of Roku, or I believe. I'm not. I heard someone talking about it the other day, but I don't really know.
Yeah, there's a lot of knockoffs, and this is a big problem for them, I think.
Here we go. Plex. Okay, maybe it's a media player. Plex is a client-server media player system and software suite comprising two main components: the Plex Media Server desktop application.
Yeah, it looks Stream Smarter. That's what it's all about, So
this thing actually runs Roku and Android, right, and Windows.
Exactly, that's the whole thing. You can get Roku, through these things, and you can get, and it's actually quite a, apparently 60 million Americans or something subscribe to 3 streaming services already. It's a pretty big market. So, but going back to the market, there really are some exciting things going on today. We look. I've talked about this. Well, just going back to the economy for a minute, because that's really the most important thing right now. The economy, I think, is accelerating because of what I talked about with the market anticipating this 9-10 months ago. We're sort of in the sweet spot now where the market was advancing in March. We're sort of 9 months ahead from March. So from now through the end of the year, it's probably pretty clear sailing, but there may be a pullback with this with the hearings going on, you never know, but it may sail through them. I mean, if the hearings just are a failure or a collapse, the market could actually go much even higher. So because it's not a slam dunk that Trump's going to get impeached actually.
Well, I mean, it dies in the House. Whatever they do, whatever little tea party they hold over there. I mean, it lives and dies there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the Senate.
Well,
has
look,
time for that.
there's this whistleblower. He's been revealed, and I actually think this guy is a kind of a gopher. He was either put up to it. I'm pretty sure.
Absolutely. This whole thing was orchestrated.
Yeah, and look, he's probably part of the task force that Brennan put together to take down Trump. So he's he's up to his ears in it. And now there's a couple of things come out. I think there's a complaint filed against him with the whistleblower for something to do with the Ukraine. So yeah, this thing could really blow up sky high. This guy's he's everywhere. He's all these pictures of him with everybody. He even got his head in the way between Melania and the First Lady of France. I mean, it's just unreal.
Now, who are you talking about?
The whistleblower.
Oh, okay. I don't guess I've seen his picture yet.
Yeah, it's all over the place. Yeah, see that headline there today? See that?
Which one?
Just go back. May have been soliciting illicit funds from Ukraine, something like that. So this guy's been he's been into all sorts of mischief. This guy, and I think that's why they don't want him to testify, because he's toast if he testifies.
In what way?
Well, because if assuming the truth comes out, it's basically gonna reveal that this guy is a stitch job, and and maybe this guy's been up to all kinds of mischief that may put him in jeopardy. So I think that it's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out. I mean, there was a tweet I saw somewhere, I think, last night, saying that Pelosi might be preparing for failure. She might be going to throw Schiff under the bus or something. So, Trump's a tough guy to take on. He's got a lot of power, and if you listen to Steve Hilton's analysis of it all, the whole thing stinks to high heaven. And who knows, they might, what happens somehow in the next few days, I don't think it's going to happen right away, but you never know, so what if they announce dawn raids and people are led away in handcuffs? That would just take the heat, this story right out of the headlines in 5 minutes, if something as big as that were to happen, and you never know, it could. So
I believe the president's up to something. He's sly. He's very sly, and he's got something working. Whether it's
it's interesting. When we had the pleasure and the honor of talking to Diamond and Silk, you remember they said Trump's got there's something, or they're already working on something, and next thing you know, you see this phenomenally successful black voices for Trump in Atlanta. I mean, that was an incredible, which they attended, by the way, and that was something else. And I think that's a very powerful movement now that's going to gain a lot of traction over the next year. So, and look, Trump's. I was just going to say what he said this morning, which is. He started out, no new regulations. For every new regulation, there has to be two eliminated. He's got that to 1 to 9 ratio now. So he's managed to eliminate 9 regulations for every new one in his 3 years. That's and incredible. He says that he thinks it's going to get to 20, so 20 to 1. That is transformational. That's one of the reasons why the market's at an all-time high. Look at this. Imagine bringing 10,000 factories back to the U.S. and creating this stunning job performance, and really, I mean, continual record lows. And who knows, if we get some Christmas hires here in the next month, October, possibly an extra 100,000 or so. If we get 300,000 number for October, November rather, that would be. We did get 300,000 for October. Upwardly revised. If you add them all the extra jobs that were upwardly revised, it was 303. So, if we do that again in November, but maybe we get a real 300,000 in November with the hires and maybe the census and stuff, I mean, I think that would be a tremendous accomplishment, and possibly the same even in December. So it's really extraordinary. And one of the things that is helping is controlling the border has definitely stopped the flow of new labor effectively. Which was probably, and so the job market is tightening up. And one of the big statistics is, I think, almost 1 million Americans who gave up looking for work are now back in the workforce or something like that. So these are all extremely powerful things that just nobody saw coming. So, Trump's speaking at the Economic Club of New York today, right now, and he's really giving a pretty good account of everything he's managed to accomplish since he took over. So
we have core CPI numbers tomorrow morning at 8:30 Eastern.
Look, that's a good thing to get onto today. Okay, we if you look at the silver and gold and first, you'll see that we've had a kind of a flag formation. We had a kind of a C wave down, which looks like we're in right now. We made a lower low this morning, and we kind of reversed right back up. That was pretty impressive so far, but I think we've got to get above 1460 to make a difference. We've got to get back up above 17 on the silver, and the USLV's got to get back above 78, I think 78, 79. Now, the star of the day, the emerging star of the day, I'd say, is the JNUG and the Nugget, because they went down and tested their lows this morning. The JNUG is shaping up to a really great looking bottom. I mean, looked quite good yesterday, looks even better today. And what's really remarkable, and you might want to put this up, Dwayne, is now, I mean, can you imagine if we just come right out of that and start powering higher off this JNUG here? I mean, you could really have a vertical move straight back to 100 and maybe all the way to 150. This wedge kind of formation is a really pretty powerful development. And if you put the dust up, or the J dust, why don't I put the J dust up?
Powell's going to testify tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. as well.
Okay.
He's going to testify on the economic outlook and recent monetary policy actions before the Joint Economic Committee in Washington, D.C. The testimony is in two parts. The first is a prepared statement. Then the committee conducts a question and answer session. The Q&A portion of the testimony could potentially see heavy market volatility for the duration.
Okay. Is the dust coming up?
Oh, I thought it was. What happened? What is it? JDST?
JDST.
Yeah,
sorry.
there we go. I misspelled it. Okay.
Okay. I mean, look at this. Look at the red. 3 days here in the red. Okay, but the difference between the JNUG is this dust has not been able to rally. It hasn't been able to break above recent highs here. As of the moment, there doesn't appear to be much of a premium in this dust, which is pretty bullish for gold. If this thing starts breaking down, and actually we talked about this months ago. Actually, we remember. You know what this is? It looks like a carbon copy of. Well, if you go back higher, we talked about this before the breakdown to the August bottom, right? Okay. See how we were talking about this? See that when we went from August last year through this, and I said, wait, watch this thing break down, right?
Mhm.
Now look at where we are today and consider, how much we could break down from here. I mean, it could be absolutely unbelievable if this thing falls off a cliff here and goes down. It's just, I mean, unlike the previous period of 2017 through 19, you had a few attempts at rallies in the dust. This thing hasn't even been able to rally. What does that tell you? There doesn't appear to be any premium for the negative side of gold right now, other than what we've had in this correction. So if this thing starts breaking down here, I think we're going, they're obviously going to have to readjust the dust. They're going to have to split it, as it goes down towards zero. But it definitely looks like it's headed down to 10 or so from here. And that translates to a very powerful up move in the JNUG and the Nugget and the gold stocks in general.
Trump's talking about tariffs right now. I see it scrolling on the screen.
Yeah. Well, look, as we speak,
if we don't make a deal, we'll raise tariffs. That's what he said.
Well, that's why the gold's popping a little bit higher here, and who saw that coming? Raising tariffs. So look, I think Newmont kind of opened and spiked higher this morning. I think I'd put a buy stop around 37 on Newmont, because if it goes, it's going to go. Royal Gold is looking. Have a look at Royal Gold. Yeah, it's not a very good chart, but you never know. Like, remember the way. Look at the similarities to the last time Newmont took off.
Okay, that's Royal. I'll go back to Newmont.
Okay, now look, Royal is interesting because it's already bottomed and it's not making lower lows today. I think that's, considering the stock got knocked down as much as it did, I think this is very, very powerful, because you got a strong up day here off the lows, and then you got a bit of a pullback. If this thing starts breaking out above, and I'd probably put a buy stop in, even almost here, but maybe 113 or something, and then another one 114. This thing could really go north in a big way. I've been talking about cocoa recently. Cocoa just went absolutely bonkers today. Came in about 40 higher, 45 higher in the morning, and I said yesterday it looks like it's going to break out dramatically, and it's happening for sure before our eyes.
There's cocoa.
Right, it doesn't look like much on that chart.
That's end of day data, so it doesn't.
Oh, okay, no, it's already up. It's up 100 and it's up 115 right now. So it's way up there.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have that.
Yeah, it's already it's up to 26, 27 right now. So it's way up there. It's broken out. Now it's not at a new 52-week high just yet, but it looks like it's going to go up and challenge the July high. And I think cocoa, it's coming up to Christmas and chocolate and everything, maybe there's going to be, we've got more wealthy people in the world today than ever before. There's probably a big demand for chocolate, and maybe this Christmas will put cocoa over the top, because the stores are absolutely loaded with chocolates of all kinds of things, for Christmas gifts. So it's a pretty interesting day. However, I'd be a little bit careful here because of the way the EDC is going, and this market may roll over tonight. I'd also watch the VIX, for a possible upside pop late in the day. If you start to see a late sell-off today, I think I'd probably be inclined to go with it. Even though we're having quite a strong day, it's not really that big of a deal.
The Dow's only up 38 points.
Precisely. We could go negative in a heartbeat, and I think going negative today. Look, there's got to be a bit of fear before these hearings, and you never know. There could be fireworks in the first day that could affect the market. If it doesn't affect the market, I think it's pretty bullish. So keep that in mind. Another stock, a favorite stock of ours we've been talking about is Keys, Keys. Made a new all-time high today.
There we go. That's an all-time.
You know, look at that, gapped up. Looks very bullish, and I think it's time to look at Xilinx, because Xilinx actually looks like the correction might be over, and I think Xilinx has got some real potential here.
What's the symbol?
Sorry, XLNX. Sorry,
there we go.
XLNX. Yeah, you see these, you know, it's sort of bottoming out. It doesn't look, remember it gapped up, so we got to wait for a kind of a, you know, a serious challenge for the 100. But, you know, if it were to get up towards 100 and then gap higher, then I think you know we're on for real with this stock. The other one is Qorvo, QRVO.
What was that?
RVO.
Wow.
That's an enormous situation. And then the other one is Qualcomm.
What's the symbol?
COM. QCOM. Yeah. Another very bullish situation. So pulling back a little bit today, and you know, a lot of times when these stocks gap up, they come back and test. And you know, speaking of the nugget in that, remember using your mantra about important prices always come back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the market always gives you a chance to get back in. You know, sometimes
it does almost always.
Yeah.
Almost always.
And I think we're looking at that right now in the golds, in the gold sector, gold and silver sector. So the wheat is up big again today, maybe because of the cold. Remember I said yesterday these things tend to bounce on the cold.
Here's wheat on a daily.
Yeah, I mean the wheat looks really good, and it may be this may be a precursor to a grain rally, to an unfolding grain rally here. If we sort of upturn, we're not there yet on the beans or the thing. And actually, if you wouldn't mind putting up the platinum, Dwayne, I think the platinum. You know, this is a really tough market. This platinum, you know. I thought it would go better, and it's just, I mean, I'm actually delighted because I don't want to miss this next upturn in platinum. But, you know, you have a sort of an ABC correction here, so you got to be looking for a potential reversal somewhere around the 850, you know, somewhere in this general area, because if the rest of the metals take off, I think the platinum will be right for the picking here, and you know, it could turn, and it actually could turn very, very bullish and go back up towards that 1,000 and maybe a lot higher. So it's a really tortuous market, this one, and you just have to you know, have your wits about you if you're going to be trading platinum.
Anything else you want to look at?
No, this is great show.
Thank you, John. All right,
Thank
we'll
you.
talk with you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, have a good one. Okay. Now, where are they? Here we go. We're coming up on our 10-year anniversary of our weekly trading zones, and to celebrate that, I've been doing some work, and I'm now rolling out the monthly trading zones. And to look at the distance to the next zone overhead. And here's November 1st. This is a 4-hour chart. To the zone, consolidation, and then we went from zone to zone, back down to the zone, up to the zone, down to the zone, back up. If this thing kicks in gear, that's 30 points overhead to the next zone. It's 300 Dow points. And we're still early on in the month. We haven't hit the halfway mark yet. Okay, we covered all of the Concierge Trade Alerts. Let's look at Logic 247. Okay. So far this week, now that was through noon today. Valerie sent me the recap. So far this week, 20 alerts, 1 no trigger, 10 are still in the works, 9 actionable alerts, 1 of them stopped out. So far this week, 11% of actionable alerts have been stopped out. And we get started Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern. We are in week 67 of Logic 247. Sunday night we started out with the S&P, the Dow, the Russell. That was the no trigger. Short on the NQ, long on crude, short on gold, short on the S&P, short on the Dow, short on the NQ, stop out on crude, and then we get into all this stuff we're still waiting for. And I'm sure we'll have a disposition on that probably for you tomorrow. So tomorrow, big day, is core CPI number out, and also Jerome Powell testifying and doing a Q&A session. So that could bring some very nice volatility. Alan, question. Do the monthly zones work as well as the weekly zones? Well, Alan, yeah, I would say so. It's right there on the chart. Zone to zone to zone to zone to zone. And if we can take out today's high, really from 3110, it's 40 point zone to zone. I'll be looking to take on a position at 3110 with that 3140 in mind to the upside. We may buck the trend at this time, at least for a moment. Remember, historically, new all-time historic highs bring a sell-off, some deep sell-offs in the past. Maybe this time it's different, and maybe it's not. We're going to find out. Okay, time now. Good word for the day. And I've got my notes right here somewhere. You ever wonder who you are? Well, ask God. He'll tell you. He has a pretty good idea who you are since he created you. 1 Chronicles 4:9. Some of you may have heard of the Prayer of Jabez. That's a little tiny book that back, oh gosh, when was that? Early 2000s? I think it found its way onto every believer's coffee table or bedside table. 1 Chronicles 4:9. Now Jabez was more honorable than his brothers, and his mother called his name Jabez, saying, because I bore him in pain. Now, there's a name to go through life with, right? The name Jabez means pain and trouble. Oh, this is interesting. I have an incoming call. The caller ID says telemarketer. Thank you, AT&T. I'll probably resist the urge to answer that. The name Jabez means pain and trouble. Can you imagine walking into a room and hearing someone say, "Here comes trouble"? Actually, that is a saying. That's a thing. I heard it a lot growing up. Here comes trouble. Or maybe someone just describing you as a pain. I've heard that too. And what's more, his mother labeled Jabez that way the day he was born because she gave birth to him in pain. However, Jabez refused to let that name define him. Instead of looking back at his past and listening to his critics, he turned to God and prayed. This is 1 Chronicles 4:10. Oh, that you would bless me indeed and enlarge my border, and that your hand might be with me, and that you would keep me from harm, that it might not pain me. You see what he did there? All right. The label on the outside of a bottle tells you what's on the inside. And when you let others label you, invariably, they make your world too small. And once you accept the label that they place on you, you start to believe that's who you are, and that perhaps you'll never amount to anything more than that. Only God has the right to tell you who you are. So, do what Jabez did. Go directly to the source. Talk to God. He created you. He redeemed you. He calls you. He equips you. He empowers you. And, yes, He rewards you. So when people try to limit you by putting labels on you, God steps in and says, "Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by your name. You are mine." Isaiah 43:1. The truth is, God loves and accepts you. And His approval trumps anything and everything that anybody else has to say. And that's a good word for the day. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.